Hey, what's up, YouTube? I haven't made a video for you guys in a few minutes, but here I am. I'm going to show you what I'm working on today. It's the 06 F-250. Got the Powerstroke 6.0. These trucks were notorious for having problems. This is an 06, like I said, so it is the last of the generation. The 06 and 7s were a little bit better of a truck because they had made a lot of revisions to them. We started off by putting brand new headlights, of course, factory grill, factory headlights. Freshen this guy up. He's got 170 on him. Got brand new Michelins on there. Nice looking truck. He's got a few dings and dents, but it's a truck. That's what he's supposed to do. Picked up a new radiator for him. Ford factory unit. There's a bunch of parts here and stuff that I'm going to be going over with you and what I'm going to be doing to this truck. I tore him down. He had come out with a wrench light on the dash, and he would get the wrench light when I drove him. I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes on longer drives, and he would not do it on short drives. But what I was getting out of the computer was that the engine oil temperature and the engine coolant temperature weren't jiving. So EOTs and EOCs weren't jiving together. And what that told me is that he had a problem, which like they mostly all do with the oil cooler. And the oil cooler sits down here in this valley. As you can see, I've already got them torn apart. The oil cooler looked like the factory unit, but what looked like it had been replaced was the EGR cooler. And the EGR cooler sits right down here in the valley also. Got to get the turbo off. Turbo sits right back in here, and you have to obviously take off the intake manifold to get to the oil cooler. Yeah, it's not too bad once you get to it, but it's kind of a job where you just kind of like, I don't know, you kind of want to just put it off. But anyways, when I tore this intake manifold off, lo and behold, this is what I found. I've got an EGR gasket that just been sitting there since maybe I'm guessing since the last EGR cooler that got put on there, but maybe it was put on there, or maybe it's been there since before that. Who knows? These trucks I've known, I've heard that they run through EGR coolers left and right. So we're gonna remedy that situation. Anyways, as you can see the buildup here from the intake. Where the intake ports are, it was sitting just like that. And that's why you don't want to take your truck to somebody that's just gonna want to take the truck in and get it in and out as soon as possible, and not really take pride in their work. It's things like that pisses me off, because if I were to pay money to get this job done, I would expect to get it done right, especially with all them labor rates that that have been going crazy lately. But anyways, these trucks were notorious for oil cooler problems, EGR cooler problems. They had problems with their water pumps, the fuel injection control module problems, low voltages on those. As you can see, this one here looks like it's been replaced. I'm not sure. I don't have any information on that. I don't know who it's from or where it came from, but it was on the truck when I got it. So seems to be doing okay. Looks like they had new batteries in it. Batteries are very imperative to have fresh batteries in these trucks, because that's what takes out your fuel injection control module. Low voltage on the motherboard there fries them up. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and show you what I've got for this truck here and how I'm gonna take care of it. Went ahead and went with the factory oil cooler. You don't want to aftermarket. I didn't want to say that, but you don't want an aftermarket oil cooler. You want to go with the factory one. Okay, here's the part number for that. And when you get the factory oil cooler from Ford, it comes with a little set of instructions here, and then of course the gaskets required. So that's that. I'm gonna set them up there. Here's the EGR cooler. Now the EGR cooler I don't have. The new one, I ordered it from Bulletproof Diesel. It's the highest rated and highest recommended EGR cooler out there, so went ahead and went with the best. It's a little pricier than a lot of the EGR coolers that you can find out there, and what you won't see is these little passageways here. You'll see larger diameter piping in there, and basically they call it a bulletproof EGR cooler. It's basically one and done. You get it, you put it in, and you're done with it. As you see, I got a bunch of other parts in here. I've got the intake manifold set off on the side here. Got it cleaned up a little bit. I'm going to run down the parts list here. Basically, here's the fuel bowl / oil filter housing assembly, and for that you're going to need this kit here. There's a part number on that, and the kit basically contains or consists of all the O-rings and whatnot that you're going to need to seal up that assembly. Also, you're gonna need here is this kit here, and this is basically your intake manifold reseal kit. You don't want to ever use the same gaskets twice. Ford factory units. Okay, I'll get to that one in a minute. This one here, let's see, what is this? Oh, this is the turbo hardware and O-ring kit for the turbo, and there's your part number on that. Alrighty, and this is your EGR solenoid here. This is the two O-rings and the gasket that go on the EGR solenoid. There's the EGR solenoid. I got that all cleaned up. Basically, you got a gasket here that seals it off from the top, and then you've got two O-rings, one in each one of these valleys. So that's that. So what do we got here? Oh, I've got a cack boot. This is the notorious cack boot that goes up to the turbo, right off the turbo. You can see there, engine, turbo, and that's the part number on that. This is a pricey little sucker for what it is. I mean, it looks like just a little piece of hose, right? And it's about $65. So those are pretty pricey for what they are, in my opinion. Anyways, that's what that is. Part number on that. And let's see what we got here. This is the EGR cooler. Okay, this is oh, there you go. Let's see if I can get that. That's that gasket that I showed you that somebody had left behind in there, clogging the cylinder, the intake ports on that one cylinder. So, anyways, there's your gasket kit. That's a 3 in the beginning there. All right, that's the gasket kit for that. This is a little pricey sucker too. That was about $65 for a couple gaskets and a little piece of hose in there. Man. Also, when I tore down the truck, I found that somebody had used a bullshit aftermarket. What am I looking for here? The word is thermostat. Anyways, there's the thermostat. It's a Ford factory thermostat. You're going to want to use a factory unit on these, and do not trust the aftermarket crap that's out there as far as thermostats. I mean, they're just shit. Anyways, here's your Motorcraft glow plugs. We're going to go ahead and do a glow plug. They didn't call for it or didn't need it, but since we're already down there, we're just going to go ahead and take care of that. This is basically the one glow plug, and you're going to need 8 of these. That's what that looks like there. Alright, and then with the glow plugs, you're going to want to change out the glow plug harnesses. These harnesses are notorious for failure, so we're just going to go ahead and go with new ones. The truck has 172 on them, so he's still a puppy. But there's a nice little addition there. There's a nice little harness. That's for one of the sides. I can't remember which, but there's the part number on that. This is either right or left. And for some odd reason, the other one comes in a box versus a bag, and this is the other side. Alright, so there's the part number on both of those. That's going to be one, and that's going to be the other, right and left. Alright, and that's that. What else do we have? Okay, this guy here. This is the unison ring 6.0. This is the unison ring on the turbos, and let me show you why I'm going to replace that. Now, this turbo didn't act funny and didn't have any issues with it. It was running fine, but when I tore it apart to see how it was on the inside, I did notice a little wear on the actuator area here, the opening for the actuator, but everything else was fine. The turbo was holding boost. If you have an issue with your turbo not holding boost, you're going to end up with a light, and then you're going to end up with a code that says P0299 for turbo under boost. Okay, your turbo underboost means that this here is gone way ovaled out, and when your actuator moves back and forth, it's not sliding to where these vanes can open or close. And most of the times it's stuck in a more of an open position. That's where you're not building anything. So real quick here, that's the actuator that sits in this little valley here, not cut out. So that's the actuator, and that's that. As you can see, it's put a little wear into that, and like I said, that's not bad. I've seen bad ones. They also end up cracking, and they crack right down in this area here, right closer to this big opening. And if you see any of that, you're gonna want to replace them. But anyways, this is a pricey son of a bitch. It was $165, I think I paid for it, and man, shit, I might want to just start churning those out. Make a billet one and start churning those out. We'll probably make it for a lot cheaper than what they're asking for them. All right, off to the next item. This is a fuel filter kit. Okay, this is going to come with both filters and both fuel filters right in here. What else do I got here? Let's see. Oh, this is a. You're not going to need this for this job. This just happened to break on me when I was taking it apart, and what it is a coolant, the coolant reservoir, the hose that comes off of it. And if I could find that around here, oh, there it is. Basically, it's got this Y, and it tees off. One goes to the heater and heater hose, and then the other one goes to the coolant res. And that Y just ended up snapping on me here when I was taking it apart. It was real brittle, so we ended up replacing that. Nice factory unit there. And one more item that you need here is going to be this antifreeze. Okay, don't use any of that Firestone or just don't use any other antifreeze besides this here. This is what the truck calls for, and it's a gold antifreeze, and I get the concentrated. So these 2 gallons here, 50-50 dilution ratio, ends up with 4 gallons. And I'm not sure on the capacity on these, but usually 4 gallons will take care of it. And then this is the new Motorcraft radiator that I just picked up. I don't have a part number on this, but I'm sure you can look that up. Anyways, when you this cooling system here was being run, I think the owner that had it before me, and you can see it right off of here. You see that there? You can see a little bit of a rust in there. I think the owner that had it knew that there was an issue with this system, and you can see he put a aftermarket thermostat on there as well. You can tell that that's new. I could tell that that's new, so that's why we're replacing that. And he was just adding water to the system, and that's terrible for these trucks. Okay, that's basically pretty much like, I don't know, if you could take a gun and shoot somebody in the head. It's pretty much like doing that to this engine. So we're gonna flush this system completely and remove all contaminants. You do not want contaminants in this system, and the reason for that is because the passages for the coolant in these oil coolers and EGR coolers, once they get plugged up, I mean, you're gonna have to do this job all over again. So there's absolutely it's imperative to not have any. As you see, I got these inlets and outlets taped off. It's imperative to not get any contaminants in this cooling system, and then it is also imperative to not run water, because water and iron make rust, and you don't want that. You want this. Okay, so keep it nice, keep peace of mind. And then, this stuff might be expensive. It might seem expensive, for this stuff here that I'm using, but it's not expensive when you consider the outcome of what you're going to get for it. Okay, if you're going to end up doing this job, 13 times over the course of the life of the truck, why not just get it done and get it done in the first shot? Now, this oil cooler here, I'm going with the factory oil cooler, and that's the best option. Okay, if you don't want to spend, I believe it's like $2,200, and that's the Bulletproof diesel option, and I believe that for $2,200 you'll actually get the EGR cooler to come along with that, and that basically will solve a lot of the problems on these trucks And if you put a head stud kit on here with the Bulletproof diesel kit, which is a little pricey, I don't know how long I'm going to keep this truck. So, I'm still looking for a truck. Actually, I'm going to keep this truck, and depending on how it goes, I'm going to probably try to find me a different truck. What I'm looking for is actually like a Lariat. This one happens to be an XLT, and man, I went out to the dealer to look at new trucks, and the Lariat's gonna be stickered at about 72 grand option the way I like it. And man, that's a price tag. I picked up this truck for $5. So just to show you, I mean, this truck with a couple things here and there, and I've got a couple grand into them now with obviously with the front grille and headlights. We did a new front grille and headlights on them, all factory Ford stuff. The old headlights, they get tired, they get yellow, they look ugly. And another thing that happens is this grille, the number one, this chrome starts to wrinkle up and it looks like shit on here. And number two, the Ford symbol fades out to like a light blue, and you can't even see what the symbol says. So just with those items there, it picks up and gives the truck a facelift. Got a little boo-boo here on the fender, but yeah, that's all right. He's a good looking truck. But anyways, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this all put together. I'm going to show you what, before I put anything back on, I'm going to show you here all the cleanup work that I'm going to do. This whole area is going to be spotless by the time I'm done with it. You don't want to put anything in here that's going to contaminate or have any adverse effects on your new oil cooler / EGR cooler. And we're still, like I said, we're still waiting on the Bulletproof EGR cooler. It should be here in the next couple days. Hopefully before this weekend. Today is Wednesday. I ordered it a couple days ago. I think those guys are out in Arizona. But anyways, when that gets here, I should have a little more stuff done here on this. First step I'm going to do is I'm going to tear down this. Assembly here. The oil cooler's down in there. I'm going to tear all this down, reseal it, clean it up, make it look tits, and then probably make a video on that. So stay tuned, guys. I'm going to make probably 2 or 3 videos on this, and then obviously when I get it going, I'll make a final video and share with you what anything that I spot or feel necessary to. Anyways, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. You have a good one.